Technicals do not work in conditions like these. They don't work for you because you're not making the proper adjustments or modifications to your strategy. What am I doing to adapt in conditions like these? I'm a technical trader. I trade purely price action, but I need to be in the know of like the current political state of the world, or the country at minimum, to know, do I need to make adjustments? How do I adapt to the current conditions that we're in? The energies are freaking out. High volatility, crazy momentum. One announcement can shift the entire market. So what do I need to change with my strategy to help me capitalize on conditions like these? Now, we'll say to start, for beginners, now is not the time to start putting on more risk. You could do all of your analysis and price can still completely flip on you, and do it at a very random time. So for beginners specifically, these are conditions where we need to be risk off, not risk on. So I'm not saying the technicals don't work, because they do. I trade technicals. But you need to figure out how to adjust them. How do you adapt? I'm gonna walk you guys through exactly what I'm modifying or changing within my own strategy to help me not only be able to adapt and kind of be able to navigate conditions like these, but also be able to capitalize on conditions like these. All right, so what is the current environment that we're in? What are the market conditions that everyone is talking about right now? What's happening? What's going on? Let me fill you in case you don't know. The conflict involving Iran is creating a very uncertain shift in the energies right now. And where we stand right now is that Trump just made an announcement that we're going to cease fire. It's a 2-week ceasefire to buy some time for a potential peace treaty. It's still uncertain. So we got 2 more weeks to kind of watch crude oil snap back and forth. But now, before you start pointing the finger at the Trump tweets, at the war that's happening right now, or even at the markets as to why you're losing money, think back to when we were in so many different conditions. I mean, we can start with 2008, the global financial crisis, lockdown, aka COVID. We've gone through the Russia-Ukraine war. We've gone through tariff decisions. Now we're in the Iran war. We've been able to trade through all of these different conditions. If it's not one thing, it's going to be another. So if we can shift the blame and just start looking, okay, how do I adapt to this? How can I capitalize on it? That's what we have to do as traders, is adapt, shift, change, modify. Each one of these conditions changed how price reacted, but we've adapted before, we can adapt again. Now, with these specific conditions, or with this specific instance, the energies are having the most reaction to what's going on right now. Supply uncertainty, the geopolitical conflict, policy decisions, peace treaties, threats. So this is where the technicals need to be modified. Let's actually look at crude. Let's see what crude is doing. What type of movement am I talking about? How sporadic are we talking? How often is it making these moves? Let's take a look. So we've got crude oil here in the 1-hour time frame. This is the futures market, and we're looking at real-time price action right here to the right. Crude just made an insane drop. Now, it's been a few hours, price has kind of puttered out a little bit, and we're sitting at 96.18 right now. Crude has made these pushes back to back, a little consolidation, sure. Huge push to the upside, a little consolidation again, complete drop off. Insane conditions here, and 2 of which were A+ setups using my strategy. This one right here that just happened, as clean as it looks now, hindsight, this would have been a fake out for my strategy specifically. So why do we make these modifications? Is to avoid fake outs like this, but then capitalize on the moves when they do happen, when we can. So as easy as that looked before, we would have thought short positions, and then it would have faked us out here, pushed higher, and then the second go around, the second break would have been the one that actually ended up rolling over. So as beautiful as that looks, wouldn't have been able to catch that as easily. Would have had to take a loss, potentially 2 back-to-back losses, a short and a long, to then be able to flip to the third short position. But these are the conditions that we're in. It could make a move like this overnight, a move like this in one single candle, a move like this with one announcement. Each one of these is Trump making threats, Trump announcing that we're going to have a 2-week ceasefire. I mean, if it's not this, then it's that. If it's not this, then it's that. Now, what can we observe from this kind of price action? Keep in mind, I've been trading crude all year, so right now we're just looking at March and April. If we go to a higher time frame, insane movement, crazy movement here. Everything to the left, a little bit more, I'd say that's your average price action, what we're used to. Over here to the right, insane volatility. Hopefully this is a good representation of what we're used to on the left versus what we're dealing with right now. So in this view right here, it may not look as crazy when I zoom in on the 1 hour and take you guys to this view, but when we move to the 4 hour and get a bigger picture, over here is what we're used to. This is what we're dealing with. with. So what have I changed or what have I modified about my strategy to help me not only be able to navigate these conditions, but capitalize? First and foremost, I have shifted from the 4-hour time frame to the 1-hour time frame. Do I plan on staying in the 1-hour time frame? No. This is just the modification that I need to make based on these conditions right now. Why would I make the shift from the 4-hour to the 1-hour? Price could completely retrace over an announcement profits that I have been working towards building for days. So in the 4-hour time frame, you're holding for days, if not weeks. Price can completely retrace or give all of your profits back in an instant. So it's just very defeating, and it feels like you can't quite get a leg up or can't quite get traction on the 4-hour time frame, because every time you've got to wait for your setup, which takes a lot longer for a 4-hour trader to get a setup than it would for a 1-hour trader. You got to wait for all of your criteria to still be aligned, and then by the time you do, you're in your position, price is moving, maybe you've waited days, maybe it's the next week, and then with one tweet or one headline announcement, it's gone. So I shifted to a lower time frame, to the 1-hour, to help me, 1, get into my entries a little bit sooner, 2, have more opportunity for entries, and 3, get out of my trade sooner as well. So instead of holding for weeks or a week, I'm now holding my trade for a day or a few days. So that helps me avoid such snappy price action. So that's the first thing I'm doing, the first modification that I'm making to my technical strategy to help me capitalize on conditions like these. Second thing that I'm doing, when I get the right setup, when all of the stars align, when all of my criteria is met, along with a push of momentum complemented by a tweet or a headline, I'm looking for areas of support and resistance to close me out instead of waiting for price to move along this new trend and then get me out when my safety line is crossed. If you don't know what a safety line is, I did a full breakdown of what a safety line is and how I use dynamic risk within my strategy. If you haven't watched it or don't know what it is, check this video out here or save it for later and then come back. But instead of waiting for my safety line, I'm utilizing support and resistance to help me close my trades sooner. Also keep in mind, using support and resistance for my take profits, totally fair, totally valid. Using support and resistance for my stop losses does not complement my strategy. I'm looking for key levels to close my trades sooner instead of waiting for price to move along this new trend and then tell me when the new trend is over. That's the second modification that I'm making to my strategy. The third modification that I'm making to my strategy is position size. I am trading so much smaller. In conditions like these, price rips and snaps in either direction on a regular basis now. So now is not the time to come in heavy. Now is not the time to be pro risk. It is to be risk advert, to take your foot off the gas when it comes to the risk. So I'm trading between 3 and 10 contracts of crude oil these days. Last year, I was able to do between 20 and 40 contracts of platinum. I am taking my foot off the gas, scaling down for conditions like these. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still able to capitalize on very impressive profits. Dollar amount wise, very impressive. I'm not saying the technicals don't work in conditions like these, but modification is required. Adjustment is required. We need to adapt. So now, what modification do you need to make to your strategy to help you capitalize in conditions like these? I've seen many traders make the adjustment from a higher time frame to a little bit lower of a time frame during conditions like these, but please keep in mind that it doesn't mean that a lower time frame means the grass is greener on the other side, because then you'll continue to switch time frames for eternity. So just understanding that I'm making this modification to my strategy because of the conditions like these. When we get more average price action in crude, going back to my 4-hour time frame is where I want to be. I look forward to that, to where I don't have to be so active on the charts, or as active as I am on the charts, and I can get into my positions and I can be patient with my positions and I can hold them for a week or 2 weeks and allow them to ride out or allow them to play out for their entirety. I can focus on closing when the safety line gets crossed instead of having to look for these key levels to close. So it's just making the adjustments to adapt to the conditions that we're in and being aware of the current news happening that may potentially be affecting your specific instrument. So with that being said, technicals do work. Just make sure that you make the proper adjustments or modifications that you need to adapt to these type of conditions. I hope this is helpful for you, and hopefully by sharing the modifications that I made to my strategy will help you understand that, okay, maybe these are the adjustments that I need to make to my technicals. I'm curious, if you have made any adjustments to your strategy or to your technicals because of the conditions that we're in, drop it in the comments below. But okay, this is all I have for you guys today. I hope this was helpful. These are the conditions that we're in. I'm able to capitalize because it complements my strategy so well. I mean, I'm a breakout trader and we're getting breakout and just heavy momentum, but also knowing that like when to pump the brakes, like do not go risk heavy in conditions like these, and making the adjustment from the 4-hour to the 1-hour and closing my trade sooner, key levels instead of safety lines. So it's just knowing what slight adjustments need to change. My strategy is still the same, still the foundational strategy. I'm still a breakout trader. I'm still looking for the same entry criteria. I've just made some slight adjustments to help me capitalize and not only navigate. So this is the difference here. I'm not just navigating these conditions. I'm not getting in, getting out, and still, I'm here and alive and intact, I'm able to capitalize, thrive in conditions like these. So for beginners trying to trade in conditions like these, your best bet is going to be taking your foot off the gas when it comes to risk. If you're a beginner specifically and you somehow found this video, which is totally okay, welcome, hi, hello, my name's Tori. I've been trading for 11 years now. I'm doing a full masterclass this Wednesday on the exact entry criteria and the strategy that I use to help me capitalize on conditions like these. So if you're interested, hit the link in the description below to sign up, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye guys, thanks for hanging out.